The 2025 WNBA regular season came to a close on Thursday after an anticlimactic night of basketball. While all 8 playoff teams had been confirmed earlier this week, there were still 5 seeds to be determined on the final day. Instead of a dramatic end to the summer, however, the 2 games that mattered, Minnesota Lynx versus Golden State Valkyries and Las Vegas Aces versus Los Angeles Sparks, both ended in blowouts. Early in the evening, the Lynx used a dominant fourth quarter to pull away from the Valkyries for a 72-53 win to tie the 2023 Aces for the most wins in a season in league history with 34. Nafisa Collier made her own history in the process by joining Elena Del Don as the only WNBA players to record a 50, 40, 90 season. The result of the Valkyries' outing determined not only their fate, but that of the Indiana Fever and Seattle Storm. Because the Valkyries lost, the Fever finished as the No. 6 seed, the Storm climbed to number 7, and the Valkyries fell to number 8. The Valkyries and Storm have identical 23-21 records and split their season series 2-2. The second tiebreaker for 2-team ties is better record against .500 or better teams, and the Storm were 10-13, while the Valkyries were 10-18. Thus, the Storm get the number 7 seed. Later on, the Aces traveled to Los Angeles and made easy work of a Sparks team that had nothing to play for after being eliminated from playoff contention earlier this week. In their 103-75 win, the Aces set the WNBA's single-game three-point record with 22 makes. Haja Wilson also made one final MVP statement with 23 points, 19 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. With their win, the Aces clinched the number 2 seed, while the Atlanta Dream will drop to number 3. The 2 teams finished with identical 30-14 records, but the Aces owned the tiebreaker after winning the season series between the clubs 3-0. Now, the playoff bracket is set. The playoffs get underway on Sunday with a quadruple header featuring Game 1 of all 4 first-round matchups. The last possible finals date is October 17. As a reminder, the top 8 teams in the league make the playoffs, regardless of conference. From there, they are placed into a standard 8-team bracket. The first round of the playoffs is a best-of-3 series, while the semifinals are a best-of-5, and the finals, as of this season, are a best-of-7. The Aces were under 500 on July 25 and lost by 53 to the Lynx on August 2. Now, after the most stunning late-season turnaround the WNBA has ever seen, they're the number 2 seed. They secured that spot by crushing the Sparks in the regular season finale on Thursday to run their winning streak to 16 games, tied for the second longest in league history. The Dream had an incredible season in their own right, with a franchise record 30 wins. They will have to settle for the number 3 seed, however, as the Aces own the tiebreaker between the clubs. Based on how the lower seeds shook out, though, the Dream might be better off at number 3 anyway. The Mercury completely overhauled their roster during the offseason and notably brought in Alyssa Thomas and Kalia Copper to form a big 3. Though they were hot and cold at times, they earned the No. 4 seed and home court advantage in the first round. Their reward is a matchup against the reigning champion Liberty. The Liberty got off to a 9-0 start, but went 18-17 the rest of the way due to a barrage of injuries. While they easily secured a playoff spot, they won't have home court advantage in any round barring an upset, and would have to face the Lynx in the semifinals. The Mercury won the season series between the teams 3-1, which gave them the number 4 seed and home court advantage. However, in terms of predicting which team will win the series, it's hard to read too much into the regular season results considering the injury issues for both clubs. The Fever, Storm, and Valkyries had all secured a playoff spot heading into the final day of the season, but did not know their seed. And because the Fever and Storm had already concluded regular season action, All they could do was sit and watch the Valkyries take on the Lynx. Due to the Valkyries' loss, the Fever earned the number 6 seed. The Storm jumped up to number 7, and the Valkyries fell to number 8. The Storm and Valkyries finished with identical 23-21 records, but the Storm won the tiebreaker. The two teams split their season series 2-2, but the Storm had a better record against .500 or better teams, 10-13, than the Valkyries, 10-18. The Fever are in the playoffs for the second consecutive season. Despite getting just 13 games from Caitlin Clark and having 5 players suffer season-ending injuries, the Storm would have hoped to have been higher in the standings, but making the playoffs was paramount, and they did just that. The Valkyries made history as the first expansion team to earn a playoff spot in their inaugural season.